Hello, everybody. My name is Tammy. I'm a connection guide at Single Life Today and a concierge at Singles Travel International. And tonight's event is to help our members who are traveling to the Isle of Crete Rendezvous vacation get ready for their trip. And what pioneers they are, because today is June 28th of 2021. And our travelers are among the very first who will be traveling internationally. Having left the country myself in the last couple of weeks, I'm ready and prepared to help them get ready. And we're going to go through some of those procedures and then also answer questions about the vacation. So what I'd like to do first is welcome everybody for coming. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and do a little bit of an introduction here. And this is not the page I want to show you to, but here we go. So what I'd like to do is give you an area on our website that when you travel with us on a vacation, when we hit the 21-day mark, we send you an email and we invite you to look at what we call the final vacation details and meetup information document. It's on the trip page. So this being for the Isle of Crete Rendezvous for July 13th, you would search for that by trip or by destination, and then click the Learn More button. So I'm going to click on Learn More, and that's going to open up a page.
That's going to open up a page. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's going to open up the page. Sometimes with Zoom, they take a little bit longer. And we do 3 trips to Crete every summer. So we have 3 this summer and 3 next summer. So we've been doing this for 10 years. They started in business about the same year that we did, which was almost 28 years ago already. So once you hit that 21-day mark and you get the email, on the left-hand side, all of our trip pages have this left navigation bar. So you're able to navigate a trip and get all the information that you need. When we hit the 21-day mark, this button appears and it's called Your Travel Documents. So this is everything you need to know in order to take the vacation. They're lengthy. In this case, this is a 14-page document. And so I bring this up first because if you haven't identified that this is there for you or opened your email, and great, awesome, I see some of our members holding up their printed copies. I think it's an excellent thing to print because there is information there. And as a longtime traveler myself, even in modern times, I know that sometimes when I get to a destination, the internet's not working or I'm not able to access my information. So I like to have it printed, especially when I'm trying to get from the airport to my hotel. If I don't have that written down, it's going to be a very difficult navigation. Well, in this case, of course, in Crete, we do include your transportation. So they are waiting for our members. They have your flight information and your names, and they will be waiting for you when you get out of the customs area, or actually the baggage claim area in Crete. But in the meantime, it's a great thing to print and have with you because it's everything you need to know for that trip. So tonight, normally I would go through this, and I will do that. And there's a couple of extra steps that are now part of our process for travelers. And that's why I say that we are pioneers, and it's taking a lot of courage. Some of you are going on your very first singles vacation. You're traveling for the first time by yourselves. And we really commend that. And I share that tonight because there are so many singles out there that are hesitant. They want to do it. And we know that there might be some fear. And we want you to know that when you come with our company, we know that you're single. We know that you're coming for the first time by yourself. We know that you're traveling by yourself, and everybody else on the trip is coming by themselves. So once you get to the destination, you'll be received with caring and understanding hands and arms from our concierge team and from the local crew. Everybody knows that you're traveling alone and solo. So we greet you. Good journey. I like to say tonight it's Kalispera, good afternoon. That's Greek for good afternoon. And thank you for coming. Efaristo. That means thank you in Greek. So I'm just going to kind of make our document here is broken down into sections. In this case, first, we're going to talk about required documentation. We always put the most important information up front so you don't miss out on everything. Of course, everybody needs a valid passport. And all of the US travelers or Canadian travelers going to most countries must have a passport that's good for at least 6 months after the day they're returning home. That seems to throw people from time to time because they think, oh, well, my passport's good until July 3rd. Well, then I can come home on July 3rd. But they will not let you into the country if your passport doesn't have at least 6 months. Most countries want to know that you're coming in and that you're going back home at the end. So make sure your passport has a good 6 months expiration or validity on it from that day you're coming home. So in this case, you're coming home July 20th for the most case. You want to make sure that your passport's good until December 20th of 2021. Now, because of the scenario with us having been vaccinated or not vaccinated, Greece is allowing travelers who are vaccinated or who are not vaccinated to enter the country. And so if you have a vaccine, then that's great. And if you don't have one, you're going to have to take a test. You're going to have to prove 72 hours before you enter Greece that you have a negative COVID-19 test. Now, how are they going to track all of that? The government of Greece has created a website, and they're calling this document a passenger locator form. And I'm going to click on this link. Can you all see the welcome to Greece?
Yes.
Great. So this is the first step. Before you travel to Greece, you must click start here and create a username and a password so that you have a login to this website. And if you look at the URL here, you can see it's travel.gov.gr/pound/user/login. Of course, you can always click on the link. And then the next time that you're going to create a new one here. So I'll just put my email address in. I'm not going to fill this out, but I want you to see what it's like. And I'm going to create a password. And I'm going to hit register. So once I hit register, I guess they're asking me. Okay, so now I'm submitting. Now I'm duly registered. Well, your account could not be created because I probably have one already, which is fine. But that's what you're going to do. You're going to put in to register. You're going to put your email address in and create a password that matches and then hit submit and you will get in. And it's going to ask you a series of questions about your destination, the date you're traveling, whether or not you have a COVID vaccine or you're taking the test. So it's all the information that you have already within your final vacation details. So it's basically, you're going to want to have your airline reservation with you. I'm going to reference back to this page here and this final vacation details, which is, let me click here. Because you're going to need the address of the hotel. That's one of the things they're going to ask you, which is down here on page. Here we go. So page 7, if you're coming into Athens, then you're going to have to know what your pre-tour hotel address is. And then for Crete, you're also going to have to list your hotel address in Crete. Those two pieces of information in addition to your airline ticket, and they're going to ask you about your vaccine, what kind of vaccine you took, and they're going to ask you when was the last dose. So you have to have your vaccine card when you fill out this passenger locator form for the government of Greece. Now, once you fill in all that information, if there's something that's mandatory and it doesn't relate to you, it's okay to put NA in the box, right? But be sure you put where you're staying and your airline information and your vaccine information. But there might be something, for example, we have some members going to Greece on a cruise next week. And so it was asking for the address of the cruise. Well, there isn't an address for the cruise. So we put NA in the box and it accepted it, right? So the system, they understand if you're on a cruise, then that's okay. You're not going to have an address for the cruise. I put the city where it's leaving, Piraeus. But if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to call our office at 877-765-6874 and just press 0. One of us will answer and will help you. So once you fill in this form, you're going to get an email confirmation. It's important that you print that email confirmation because that is going to be something that you're going to have to show the airline when you check in. Why? Because when you fill out this form and you get your email confirmation, they're going to tell you that they are not going to send you the QRC code. You're going to get a QRC code eventually that you're going to you're going to show to the Greek immigration officer when you arrive. That QRC code is emailed to you at midnight on the day you're arriving. So you'll be in flight most likely when you get that QRC code. So the other thing that's really important is that, so you print that because when you check in at the airline, they're going to want to know that you've completed this step. So you check in with the airline, you show them your confirmation. It's also really important before you leave that you register, contact your cell phone company. Let them know that you're traveling internationally and that you want to be able to activate your phone so that when you arrive in Greece, you have access to your emails and text messages. You're going to have to access your email when you arrive to get the QRC code. Now, they don't necessarily look at everybody's, but you want to make sure that you have that. If for some reason you don't get it, you have at least the email confirming that they received it from you. And you will be handled appropriately at that time. So just a little bit of a recap. Before you travel to Greece, you're going to have to fill out your passenger locator form, which is a link inside our final vacation details. And it's right on the very first page because this is a required document. Print out the confirmation email once you get that from them and bring that with you. Activate your phone so that you have international access and understand how to get your emails and open them up while you're on the road. We also, again, recommend that you print this final vacation details document because there's a lot of information in there. Okay, great. Now, the other thing that is now required, you must have travel insurance. It's mandatory. And here's why. Most of the countries that you're going to be visiting want to make sure that if you get ill, and this is actually a requirement for some countries, even before COVID, they want to make sure that you're going to be able to pay for your medical expenses. Now, we're all in the 50 plus age range, so we're pretty responsible, but you can imagine there's a lot of kids that are traveling on a dime and they're, backpacking around the world and things happen, accidents happen. And if you don't have two nickels to rub together, then who's going to pay for your medical bills? So this is something that has been around for a long time, but of course it's highlighted now. They're particularly protecting themselves if somebody contracts the COVID-19 virus. They want to make sure that you're able to pay for your hotel, you're paying for your medical, and that you will be able to leave once you get a negative test. So all of the insurance companies, at least the one that we recommend, which is Travel Guard, there is a link right here in the letter, and you can click on that. And that will take you over to Travel Guard, and you are able to fill out this form and take the steps. And if you would like for us to do that, just give us a call and we'll take care of it for you. There's a lot of questions in there again. Where are you going to? How much was the cost of your vacation? What airline are you on? And then they give you a series of choices for your vacation policy or for the insurance policy. And they're from high to low. And, most of us have had insurance over our lives, and we know that insurance is based on it. You get what you pay for. And as you add inclusions, the cost goes up. If you take inclusions off, the cost goes down. The key things are that you have the medical and the emergency evacuation. Now, we do have some we have an annual policy. If you're interested in that, just give me a call. I can help you with that. And it's around 250, 300 for an annual. So that might be something that makes sense if you're traveling often. So now let me go back to the final vacation details. Make sure you've got your insurance policy in place and you print out your policy before you go. Next up, well, we're a singles vacation company, so we like to socialize, and we want you to, you have bragging rights now. You're one of the first people that are going to travel to Europe in over a year and a half. So of course, you're going to be posting on your own Facebook pages. We'd love for you to post on ours and just follow us. In fact, right now, Vicky is in Greece. She arrived yesterday or Saturday, and she's been doing Facebook Lives from all of the places that she's visiting. And she's starting in Athens tomorrow. She'll be on the Greek island cruise. She'll be in Santorini and Mykonos. So if you're interested and you're not on this trip and you want to see a little bit about what's happening in Greece, you'll see that based on what I saw so far, outdoors, it's quite normal. People do have to wear masks inside, but if you are outdoors and at the beach and in some of these public places, it's quite normal, and you'll have a wonderful vacation and have an opportunity to feel free, other than when you're indoors. And then there are some restrictions. So follow us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/singles travel international. And we have a link here on the bottom of page 3 to most of our social media links. So there's Facebook, there's Pinterest, there's Twitter, there's Instagram. And we invite you to follow us on all of those. When you're posting, it'd be great if you put hashtag STI changes lives. We love that, because then that way anybody in our community can search hashtag STI changes lives, and they'll always be able to see all the pictures from our members. We also have a chat on the trip page. So let me show you that. So if you're on this particular trip and you click on the trip chat, this is an area where members who are booked on this trip are able to communicate with each other. So I see Janet, you're in there already saying hi to Pam, and you're able to make your own message if you'd like. So you could say, hello, I am going to Crete and can't wait to meet everyone. So all you have to do is put that in there and click post comment. I won't, because everybody will know me and they'll say, hey, Tammy, are you going to Crete? So I won't post that right now, but you can hit post comment. And if you want to get a notification when somebody responds to you, click that little box, and then you'll get an email when somebody makes an update to this particular stream. If you want to respond to somebody else, you can just hit the reply button and then say, hello, Jeffrey, I look forward meeting you. Now, had they been here tonight, they would get to meet us live. And so this is a brand new kind of a benefit that we've been promoting. And I think it'll take a little while for that to catch on. With that said, we're also going to have a farewell. A picture party when you come back, 3 weeks when you come back from the trip, after you're all friends and you know each other. We want to help you stay connected. So we'll have a picture party, and we'll come on and we'll just share our favorite 1 or 2 pictures and what made it so meaningful for us. And I know when you come back from Crete, it's one of my top 5 favorite places in the world for singles. I've been to 56 countries, and Crete is definitely, this experience is one of the top 5. So I know you'll have some valuable experiences and some great stories to share with us. So let's go back to the final vacation details. Here at Singles Travel International for 28 years, we've been just connecting single people. They come alone, they're traveling for the first time. We want you to meet and make new friends and actually make lifelong friendships. That's our goal. So here on page 3, it talks about tonight's event, and it also talks about the picture party coming up on August 9th. You will apply for the RSVP the same way that you did for tonight's event. So now let's talk a little bit about some safety protocols that are in play. In Greece, of course, they are getting vaccines. We are in the greatest country in the world, I believe, or one of, and we are lucky because we are one of the first kind of groups of people to be able to get this vaccine. And so that gives us total freedom to go to these other places. Not everybody has their vaccine yet. Now, whether you agree with getting a vaccine or not, I don't want to make a political statement. All I can say is that by having that vaccine, we have a new openness and an availability to travel. So, for example, when I was in the Bahamas 2 weeks ago, nobody had the vaccine yet. Now, we were out on a boat and we were on beaches, and so it didn't really affect us in a negative way. It's just that when we got off and we went into the islands, the people that were there were definitely wearing masks and they were standing away. We forgot already, just by having the vaccine for a couple of months, that, oh my gosh, people are out there that don't have the vaccine. So we would just say, be respectful, test the water, see how it is. If you see others wearing a mask, there's probably a good reason. They're probably not vaccinated. And you guys, we remember 3 months ago, just 3 months, how we were still fearful. We were careful. We were cautious. We were separating and distancing, and we weren't going and getting our groceries. We were having them delivered. So it seems like a long time ago, but there are other people in other parts of the world that have not had the benefit of a choice. And so they're still protecting themselves. So you may be asked to wear a mask. You may be asked to distance, and you may be asked to sanitize. Now, so just putting this out there that there might be some precautions that seem like just, something from the past for us here in the United States. Be mindful and be respectful. So once you get to Crete, your transportation is included when you get off the airplane in Chania, which is the name of the airport. That's how you pronounce it. Chania, that's Chania. We will have our local tour company. The owners of the hotel will be there to meet you. And so, you should be in great shape once you get there. And their number and their information is down here a little bit further in page 8. So I would recommend that you put both of these numbers in your phone. And here's the thing, when you're in Greece, you're going to have your cell phone, which is a United States cell phone. So when you call these numbers on your cell phone and you're in Greece, you're probably going to have to dial 01130 and then the numbers, because that would be a long distance phone call, even though you're in Greece. And you know what? If you're at the airport, first of all, this is if for some reason there isn't your driver there. In all the 10, 11 years that we've been doing this, I've never had a call that they were not met. So this is great track record. So I don't think you'll have that problem, but just in case, be mindful that you'll have to call as though it's international. And everybody in the airport is very helpful. So if you don't see the driver, just tell them where you're going, and I'm sure they will direct you to the person that you need to find. It should be very, very easy. The other thing is to put our phone number inside your phone. So our number here is the toll-free 877-765-6874. But my name is Tammy, and I am the one that takes the emergency calls on the weekend. So my number is also here, and I would put that in your cell phone so that anytime outside of Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, if you have a travel emergency, you just call that number and I will answer and I will help you with whatever is happening. So we talked about insurance and luggage. You're not limited as much as on some vacations. This is just a limitation of what the airlines are allowing you. So if you're allowed one bag, but just double check with your carrier. What is the allowance for you from the United States into Athens? Most of us are traveling into Athens. And then from Athens to Crete, they're a little bit smaller aircraft. You are allowed usually 23 kilos, which is a 40-pound bag. as a checked luggage, and then they allow you an 8 kilogram or about a 15-pound bag to go into the aircraft. I imagine that most of you are flying from Athens into Crete on Aegean, and those are their qualifications. Go ahead and check in before you fly so that if you do need to up your bag allowance, you can pay for it online. It's a little bit less expensive. So these are the flight schedules of all your traveling companions, and some of you are making the best use of your vacation, and you are coming into Athens a day early and spending some time in Athens. Well, the reason that we even offer that, first of all, Athens is a phenomenal place. One day is not enough to get everything in, but it is so filled with antiquity and history and rich culture. The airline flights that come from the United States usually arrive in Athens around 8:39 in the morning, and the next flight to Crete isn't until 1 o'clock. So that would mean that you'd stay a good portion of your day in the airport in Athens. And so we thought, wouldn't it be nice if we just add a pre-tour stay in Athens for the night, give people a chance. You're getting in early, you'll be at the hotel by 11:30 in the morning, you'll have the whole day, and then the next morning have a leisurely breakfast, maybe a little more touring, and then by 2:30, 3 o'clock, head back to the airport and take the 6 o'clock flight into Crete. So that's listed on our frequently asked questions page for all of the Crete vacations. We literally put our recommended flight for you so that you have a chance to do that if it's of interest to you. And then, of course, you're in the best location. The area is called the Plaka. It's almost within walking distance of the Acropolis, which is the #1 site. That's that iconic building with the pillars that you see up on a high hill. And then that area at night is wonderful for outdoor dining. There are plenty of restaurants, and you get a chance to have your first Greek fare while you're there, authentic Greek food. And it's just a great place to see and be seen and people watching. And if you're by yourself as a single person, it's a safe area to be in. So all of your information and your confirmations are here for that on page 7. And then here's your information for the Crete hotel, which is called the Mistral, and all of your inclusions. We give you a sample of your itinerary. And the nice thing about this particular trip is everybody comes in on a Tuesday, and on Wednesday morning, there's a welcome meeting with just kind of a brief of a little bit of history, a little bit of information about Greece and Crete. The owner is wonderful. He's passionate about not only the property, but his heritage. And so he can get very deep into the conversations about the archaeology and the mythology and the history. If you want to know, I always say, if you're very into the BCs and the ADs, Vasilis will go there with you, but he's also going to keep it light for those of you that don't want all of those details. But they give you a very in-depth welcome meeting. And then at that point, you're going to understand each day there's one excursion, and those are optional, and you can just go ahead and sign up for those right there on the spot. And let me tell you, this is written in this letter, but for tonight's presentation, cash is king in Greece. Everybody remembers that they had some financial issues several years ago, but even before then, they were not big credit card users. So bring cash. I recommend, if you're just a normal traveler, you're not a big shopper, you're maybe not a big spa person, if you're just taking excursions every day, and by the way, all your meals are included in this vacation except for one dinner. So I think that you could get away with maybe $350. That's about 300 euros. Bring a credit card, and I would bring a Visa or a MasterCard. American Express is not accepted, and know that just in case of an emergency. So if you want to bring 500, I would say bring 500. You can bring US. You can change it in the airport in Athens. Or you can change a little bit at the airport in Athens and change a little bit when you get to Crete if you don't want to over exchange into euros. And you can always bring money home if you want. Have your credit card as a backup. But if you do need to use a credit card, if a location takes it, then they're probably going to charge you 2 to 3% on top of it. So if that doesn't bother you, that's okay, but not everybody will do it. They'll try to talk you out of that. So even at the hotel that we're staying, most of their excursions and their spa treatments, they want cash. Now, drinking at the bar inside the hotel, you can charge that to your room and you can use your credit card when you check out. But again, they're going to add that 2 to 3% on there. So I think, and again, if you're a big drinker, then you might need more than 500 euros, but that's definitely up to you. So the average person, not a big shopper, not a big drinker, going to take maybe 4 excursions because we include 2 already. Probably 350 is going to be great, but 5 to be safe. And then, yeah. Is there a question?
No, that's good information because that was kind of my question, how much money to bring.
Sure. Yeah. So I'd say 5 and then you can always bring it home. So
I heard that word spa. Is there a spa in the hotel? Or?
Yes, there's a spa in the hotel.
Yeah.
Yay, exactly. So as I said, we're including 2 awesome excursions. One is to Elafanisi Beach. That'll be on Monday with a picnic lunch. It is a beautiful beach, white sand beach. And then the other one we take you to is Thalasana Beach. And there's a fish lunch. And now we changed it to fish lunch. We used to say lobster. It really is a lobster. It's a spiny lobster. But you go and you have a little bit of time on this gorgeous, gorgeous beach. And then you go have your lunch, and it's a local family, and the son literally spearfishes the fish that morning. So it couldn't be fresher, and they're there, and you just have this wonderful, they set the table right near the water, and it's a wonderful experience. And we include that as part of your package with Singles Travel International. I would recommend, if you're a hiker, to do the Samaria Gorge. That's an all-day trip. You start way up about 1,500 feet in the pine forest, and then you make your way down the gorge, and the boulders get bigger and bigger and bigger, and the landscape changes, and you end out in this beautiful pool of crystal clear water, have a beer or a little glass of wine before the ferry comes to pick you up and takes you to the place where the guys from the Mistral pick you up. Another great one is the Minoan Palace in Canosos. Now that's going to be over on the other side of the island, and it's a long day. It's a long day for you. But if you're into antiquities and the history, that's one of the most extensive museums in Greece for the what do I want to say? The history, the statues, the stories, and everything like that. So it's very well preserved. So that's your schedule, and you will just get all the information on Tuesday. You don't need to do anything in advance. They usually have a wine tasting right there. They'll do a little cooking class. Bikes are available just for the asking. I like to do the little hike behind the resort. You know what, this sounds weird. It takes you up to a cemetery, but it's a German cemetery, because in World War II, Crete played a very big part at the Allied forces. And the Greeks actually beat the Germans with sticks and stones, believe it or not. But there's a big cemetery. And why do I mention that? Because there's beautiful gardens. The German government maintains it, and it's right behind the hotel. So it's a nice morning walk just to get your blood going and see some beautiful gardens. I would recommend doing that one of the days. There are several other excursions. They have paddleboard now, there's sailing, there's scuba diving if you like, etc. So you're in for a great fun. Of course, we talked about passports. You don't need a visa if you're from the United States. And here's some packing suggestions. Here we say cash is king, Visa, MasterCard. The electrical current in Europe. If you've never been to Europe before, we have a flat plug with two flat prongs. In Europe, there are 2 round circles. not only do they have 2 round circles, but their current is a 220, ours is 110. So if you try to, even if you just get the little converter that you put the 2 flat prongs into the one that converts it to 2 round plugs, you have to make sure that the current is being converted. So sometimes you get this little device and it'll change the physicality of your plug, but that doesn't step down the voltage. And so what ends up happening, you're going to burn out your device.
I'd like to say something. Just the plug in the wall's the adapter and it changes so you can plug in. Don't do that because I burnt out a curling iron one time by plugging it into the adapter they had, and you need a converter.
That's right.
And
you're
but
lucky
you
you
don't
didn't-
need one. You don't need one for your iPhone or your smartphone.
Right. Those have
automatically converts.
They convert, exactly. And some laptops also, they'll have inside that plug, it'll tell you if it steps it up or down for you. But you're lucky you didn't burn your hair off too, Robbie, or maybe you did, because it gets very
No, I went
hot.
in there, looked at it, it was melting.
Yes.
It actually melted.
So we have some very detailed information here, and you can see it says if you plug in such a device without a transformer, you'll get your own fireworks display with sparks and smoke, not to mention possibly blowing the breakers at the facility. So we also have an internet cafe. You get unlimited internet there, at least last I checked, so you should be good there. Here's all the inclusive features of the vacation and what's not included. And then, of course, we just ask everybody to be respectful in terms of your behavior. There's a couple of things at the end of your vacation, you're going to get a survey from us, and we would love you to fill that out. That's how we get our feedback. After 28 years, we wouldn't be who we are if it didn't depend on the feedback from our members. We've changed so much, and thank you guys so much. We love the feedback, good, bad, or ugly. Let us know, and that's how we make it better. And once you do that survey, we automatically send you a credit so that you get an email from us, and it'll say, thank you, Janet, for doing the survey. You now have a $25 credit with your next vacation. Our vacation calendar is here. And by the way, that's on the bottom of all of our pages. We have a blog, and we keep that future trip calendar up to date so that everybody always knows what's happening at Singles Travel International. We're putting up a new trip every week, but we are not fast enough for some of our members who are avid travelers and they want to travel far in the future. So even if we don't have it up on our website yet, for example, these are some of our vacations for 2022. Some of them are in the works right now. We're trying to give you an idea of when it'll be available. So if it's in gray, that means it's coming up soon. If it's in blue, you're able to click on it and actually make your reservation today. So we've got trips being scheduled all the way through until 2023, and you'll see more and more here. So I would recommend bookmarking this page. Again, it's at the bottom of all of our trip pages. It's in the blog section. So right here, you would just click on blog, and I'll get there. And then you'll go to the 21-23 vacation calendar. So there's one other thing that I want to bring to your attention, and that is that you are required by the United States to complete a COVID test and have a negative COVID test within 72 hours of return to the United States. So when you get to the hotel in Crete, you'll make an appointment for your return where it's about a $40 charge or 40 euro charge, and they will make an appointment for you and help you get transportation to the clinic, and then you can get your test in those last 3 days before you head home. And that is just a requirement here in the United States. We're hoping that maybe someday soon goes away, especially for those of us who are vaccinated. But for today, that's still a requirement. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a recap here. I have an email in my inbox here we go. So basically, the highlights are that you go ahead and fill out the PLF, which is that government form for the government of Greece, print your confirmation email, and you will receive a QRC code while you're in flight on the way to Greece. So make sure that you have your phone activated for international use. Have your insurance and print it out. Show up at the airport with your vaccine, your official card. One of our members asked me about a copy, and that's not going to work because there are counterfeiting individuals out there. They want to see the original one. You know, I took a picture of the front and the back of my card.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, as well as my passport, so that in case
I
anything was-
laminated it too, just so it wouldn't disintegrate.
Oh, that was a great idea, Janet. So yeah, that's a recommendation. Laminate your vaccine card. And so bring your original and then print the final vacation details. That's our document that we started tonight's event with. Add the Mistral phone number to your cell phone and understand how to dial from your phone when you're international. Add our phone number in case you have an emergency. And then test yourself, get your test from an official clinic 72 hours prior to your return to the United States. So there's a little bit of an extra step to travel internationally right now, but I believe that it's completely worth it. And I recommend it. I know that you're going to have a great time. And I hope that, you know, very soon we won't have to be saddled with all these extra things, but it is worth it. And we're able to get back out there again. And so I'm looking forward to helping you all have a successful vacation.